My Two First Love's main character's father, Dave Price, his character, how it evolved, we're going to talk about it, how it evolved throughout the book, and we're going to track it down. So, My Two First Loves is so far in terms of chapter, it's the longest book of choices so far, in just one, it's a standalone book and it has 100 chapters, without getting a sequel as a standalone book or just in one installment, it has the most books in choices so far. So, main character, we know like main character's mom dies, you know, in her freshman year, and then we know like we get to know about main character's mom and dad's relationship, how much main character's dad loved main character's mom. And Mr. Price, he's a doctor and he has his own stuff to do. But when main character's mom was alive, Mr. Price's wife was around, he was completely different person. That's what we see. Like main character's mom knew how to control everyone and how to keep everything, good, and how to, like she was like the source of everything. Like she basically used to spread happiness, and she was the backbone of the family. Now when she died, definitely, Mr. Price, he became single father and he had two daughters to raise, and they were like one is teenager, both of the daughters are teenager, and Emma was goody two shoes, but Mackenzie was sort of a troublemaker. So now right after we get to know like at first how Mr. Price appears. He is grumpy, really like sort of he's impudent and like really like you wouldn't like him. Like it's not like the ideal behavior. But if we are judging at first him to be ideal behavior, well, it's a little too much to ask from him because he's a doctor. He has his stuff to do. He minds his own business. After his wife's death, he's probably trying to do that, like he is probably trying to immerse himself in his works, and he's trying to forget his wife because at one point the main character does say like if we miss our mom, we've known our mom for just for a few years, but our dad, he has known mom for so long, and when he has lost mom now, our main character doesn't know like how does it feel even. So that's a big sense of loss. And then he has his work. So and people reel from experiences from events differently. Like some people like say like okay, I'm gonna do this job, I'm going to do this work, and I'm going to immerse myself into this work, and probably I'm gonna get better. Some people take a different route. It differs as a but that doesn't excuse Mr. Price's acts, or Mr. Price's like how he first used to parent. So people call it like bad parenting. There were memes around like you're a good parent, with other pictures of parents from or fathers from you're a good dad from Blades and other books, Ride or Die, but you're not. So those things were there. But I understand all that everybody thought at that point. But I would say I would give it to the Pixelberry, this book writers and everybody every big mind that worked behind this book, because this book like I mean Mr. Price, Dave Price, Emma's father, main character's father, like he's one, but we have throughout this book we've seen lots of things like, well, this is mainly I'm going to devote it to to sort of break down Emma's father, Dave Price's character. But this book is really intelligent book, I would say. Like the people who are behind this, they've done a really nice job to sort of to lay out the book the way they did. So till chapter 20, 30, we see like main character's father, like he basically treats Emma, even our main character, as kid, and he doesn't let us he doesn't allow us to wear some dresses. Even like we have a dress code we need to follow and everything. And when we are in jail, so our dad is really upset with us. And so but we our main character is really upset with our dad too, because our main character thinks like after our mom's death our dad needs to be there, but he's not there. He's just work, work, work. He doesn't care about his children, and also he doesn't support us. So that's one problem was there. And Mr. Price, he had this problem with like he didn't know how to do this. But again, so we can see where he's coming from, right? I am saying again, it doesn't excuse his behavior, but it is what it is. Okay, but as the story develops, we track, we observe major change in Mr. Jennings's character. We see a lot of things like we at first we see Mr. Jennings wasn't much supportive to Emma. I mean, of course he was supportive to Emma because Emma was goody two shoes, but he wasn't supportive to Mackenzie, and he has some strict rules. Maybe he didn't used to spend a lot of time with his kids. But at one point, remember, you get this diamond scenes like your mom's old, diary, albums, camera. You get to reminisce about those, and those are the points where you and your dad, your family can reminisce about that, and you guys can come closer. And I would say that was really vital and really interesting in every aspect. So throughout the chapters, it's a big book, 100 chapters. So throughout the chapters, after 30 chapter, after the homecoming disaster, we see our main character's dad's his sort of developing, he's growing, and he's learning how to be supportive to Mackenzie, to our main character. And at point, even we see later half, in the later half of the book, we see like finally he's understanding, he's realizing, he's repenting, and he is sort of regretting his acts at one point, one chapter, like he should have been there for us. And at one point, I don't remember off the top of my head as to what was the incident that made him realize that, but I don't think it was any particular incident, but I think it was a lot of it was a string of incidents. But we see that we get this scene where our main character's dad is finally saying like he should have been there for us in many ways that he has failed to do. And he says that what kind of pressure is it to raise two kids on his own, and what a sadness, I mean what a sad thing it is to lose her, to lose his life partner. So this is really one thing that reflects. And after that he promises, I don't remember what this is a big book, I can't replay to just to talk about this one chapter, so I'm just sort of thinking off the top of my head, and it's really difficult to watch playthrough for this big a book. So bear with me, but that's the main turning point if I remember. And after that, whenever we've seen our main character's dad, he's super supportive. He supports our relationship and even main decisions. If you remember at the end, when we're having problem, like we are falling in love with Ava, Noah, Mason at the same time, and then we ask our dad like, Dad, how did you know mom was the one? How you knew that back then? So how would you know that? Then our dad helps us to pick our like choice. So sort of the mom, I mean our main character's mom's place, dad fills that place, sort of like, at first, directly after our main character's mom's death, our main character's dad was distanced, the relationship was different, a lot of distance between them, with Mackenzie. But finally we are bonding up. Now dad loves, now Mackenzie and dad, they're closer. Our sister and dad, our main character and dad, we're really closer, and he cares about us genuinely. Now before he also used to care about us, but the delivery was so wrong, and how to parent, now it is totally, so that was a major change, I would say. And even when, if you remember, like the kind of like when Elijah was we found Elijah in a dark place, in his hideouts, and we call our dad, he rushes and he doesn't ask any questions, without any questions asked, he helps Elijah first, he saves the patient. And he was totally supportive. He was, so if it was the former Mr. Price, our main character's father of the first few chapters, he would have probably taken us home or something, but he is totally supportive now. And also in terms of our relationship and guide, so at the end, so at first we didn't use we didn't used to share a lot with our father, were we? But now we at the till the when we were at the end chapters of this book, we saw like how we used to share everything with our dad, and how like she became like he became what our mom was, like a supportive character. So I would say that's a really, so he learned from his mistakes. It was a big, blow up for him when he lost his wife and he had two kids to raise alone. He had job. He tried a different approach that failed, but he learned from his mistakes. He repented, and then he regretted it, and then he came back. He did what he needed to do. Did what time asked, what the daughter needed, and I would say this is perfect. I mean, this My Two First Loves book, this is gonna be going down in the history of choices, Pixelberry, for a lot of things. Remember how it emphasized the violence on black people, but also this people was about, how a teenager girl explores through, their sexuality, their everything. So like, teenage, their loves and sexuality and other social things, some injustices, racial injustices, those racial stuff and other stuff. I mean, but by racial I don't mean just only black. Like racial could be in terms of anything, if you understand what I mean. So this sort of stuff, sexual stuff, being a girl and dealing with deaths and tough situations and neighborhoods with Elijah. So we see this is a whole, and I just pointed the light to just one corner, to just one aspect. This has, if you think about it for 1 second, of course some people are really annoyed with this book, but if you think about this book for a second, and you will find out that this is one of the best books in terms of representation of choices. Like how they have expressed every character, how every single character has grown throughout the book. If you truly see this, you would really understand. I really appreciate choices for their job in this case. So that was my thoughts about the main character's father, Dave Price, or Mr. Price's character. Let me know, guys, how did you like it? And let me know by all means your opinions in the comment section below. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel, check out my other content. You will find lots of contents on my channel, Pixelberry Choices Podcast. And if you didn't like it, no worries. Dislike the video as a memento and comment below why didn't you like it. And well, if you like it, then share it with your other Choices fellow fans. Thank you guys for listening in. Let me suggest in the comment section what character analysis I should do next. What character analysis you want me to do next. Thank you guys. Bye. A much thank you for listening in. Thank you.